Tricia Fabry. We are set for hoops. Michaela Morris jumping center against Alexa Golbey, and the Hoosiers will open up in the front court. They'll have the first possession on the offensive end. Here is Berger, who we touched on just a moment ago, showing the patience. Gives to Mackenzie Holmes. Holmes misses on the jumper, and C.T. Haywood the rebound for the Bobcats. Here's Mackenzie Holmes, first year in the program as a player. She joined Quinnipiac, transferring from Nebraska out of the Big Ten, and she joined Quinnipiac January this year. Here is Mackenzie Holmes on the jumper. That one off the mark. The rebound cleared by Mackenzie Holmes.
Yeah, you mentioned Helms for Quinnipiac, so certainly he has been in the soup against Indiana during her stay at Nebraska and decides to come back home. Girl from East Haven, Connecticut, comes back home and is certainly early in her career at Quinnipiac cemented her stake on being one of the best to ever play here in the backcourt.
Deweese, Helms, and Rose Caverly, along with Michaela Morris and C.T. Haywood. Berger looking inside, pass into Holmes. Helms the defense, and Helms again the defense against Holmes. Here's Deweese in the front court. Deweese feeds up top. Haywood puts the ball on the floor. Haywood lefty layup is good, and the Bobcats on the board first against the Hoosiers.
Yeah, really good move, but might have got away with one extra step. She covered a lot of ground on one dribble, but good ball reverse, and you see Deweese pushing the traffic a little bit, getting an easy look for Quinnipiac.
Allie Patberg giving it up. Nicole Cardano-Hillary inside, and it is Mackenzie Deweese. Deweese is off to a terrific start. 15 in the overtime loss to open up the season on the road at Fordham. 19 in the victory last weekend at Central. And Rose Caverly is going to be called for the foul, her first of the game. Indiana lineup, and our starting lineups this afternoon brought to you by Connecticut Orthopedics. Cardano-Hillary, Golbey, Patberg, getting a 7th year of Division I college basketball. Started her collegiate career off at Notre Dame. You've got Berger and Holmes, who we touched on in the open. And Michaela Morris going to the floor as we take a look at the Bobcats starting five. The three guards of Caverly, Deweese, and Helms up top. The Ohio native, Michaela Morris, missing on the shot. And a foul on Indiana. Starting lineups once again brought to you by CT Orthopedics, the official sports medicine provider of the Quinnipiac Bobcats. For more information, log on to their website at ct-ortho.com. Terry Morin, head coach of Indiana. We'll touch on her. Here's Caverly working on the defender, Cardano-Hillary. A little over 2 minutes off the clock here in the first quarter. Steve Lennox, Bill Mecca, Diane Nolan, the third member of our broadcast team, is on assignment down in Orlando, Florida. Part of the MAC Atlantic Sun. As Morris hits from the three. Up top, Michaela Morris gives Quinnipiac an early 5-0 advantage.
Well, we certainly know from being involved with Quinnipiac women's basketball that this stage isn't going to be too big for the Bobcats. You know, it's a program that continually schedules above what the MAC is to get better for league competition. They've been on the big stage, Sweet 16. They're ready for this, right? And we got to see with Indiana now, 5 starters back, Steve, from a team that went to the Elite Eight. Indiana's supposed to be really good.
Talk with both Mackenzie Deweese and Shajeda Bonner. There's a bucket. First points of the game for the Hoosiers from Nicole Cardano-Hillary. She is starting her 4th straight game, averaging 14 per game. And talking with Shajeda Bonner and Mackenzie Deweese after the victory at Army on Thursday, and they both said, you know what, it is Indiana. They're 4th ranked in the nation, but for us it has to be another opponent. And a foul on the Hoosiers. And you're right, in the first 2+ minutes of this game, Quinnipiac is playing another opponent on their home floor for the first time this season and in front of spectators for the first time in 2 years.
Listen, man, you cannot you got to think pretty highly of the fact that you get a team like Indiana willing to come into on the road and come into your facility. I think it has to do with the credibility Trish has created with her program.
Deweese, 16 steals in the first 3 games, drawing the foul. Mackenzie Deweese, out of Westminster, Maryland, now a senior, MAC Player of the Year as we take a look at the drive from Mac Deweese.
It's hard to define what Deweese does, except she just does everything at a really high level. She's able to knife in, use her body, and being able to get to the foul line. So you look at her, yeah, she can shoot, yeah, she can rebound, yeah, she can pass, but she does all of them at a high level. I don't know if I've ever seen a player for Quinnipiac, regardless if it's a men's player or a women's program, that has the ability to compete at such a high level as Mackenzie Deweese.
7 career double-doubles, 4 as a junior a year ago. Hits on the free throw. Bobcats again by 5. Cardaño Hillary from Madrid, Spain. Came to the United States with her family at the age of 12. She had the ball in her hands a moment ago, now in the far corner. And a foul is going to be called on Indiana. And it is on Mackenzie Holmes. Mackenzie Holmes, we touched on. She's from Gorham, Maine, about 4 hours from Hamden, Connecticut. If you're an Indiana fan with us today, we appreciate you joining us. And Hamden just a little north, just outside of New Haven, Connecticut. There's a 3 for Amani Free, and the Bobcats now up 8.
Amani's not afraid. I know her last name is Free, but she's not afraid. She comes in with energy and just say, hey, listen, let's just play ball.
First off the bench for Quinnipiac once again. Shot off the mark. Deweese underneath, grabs the rebound. Bobcats off to an 8-point lead. And Morris with the ball.
And 2 fouls now on the big girl, and she's going to get a little break here. You got a whole busload of fans that came up and
made the trip
to
from
watch
Maine.
Mackenzie play, right.
They're on social media. Mackenzie Holmes goes to the bench. And into the game for the first time is Keandra Brown from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. She wears number 23 for Indiana. And here's Michaela Morris at the line. Talk with Sajeda Bonner. I mentioned conversation with Sajeda after the victory at Army on Thursday night. Talked with her just before the start of the season. And you've got Mick, as in Michaela Morris. You've got Mackenzie. She goes by Z, Mackenzie Helms. And you've got Mac. She's the senior, so she gets the Mac, Mackenzie Deweese. But Bonner, with the nickname for Morris, Player of the Year. No disrespect to Mackenzie from last year, but, you know, her numbers were right there as well. She did win Defensive Player of the Year honors. Pat Berg that shot off the mark, and Michaela Morris grabs the rebound.
Yeah, I don't think you would have been, if they flipped the awards.
Right.
And Deweese got Defensive Player and Morris got Player of the Year, I don't think you would have got any argument from anybody else. But it's nice to have 2 really solid players in your program.
Let's see if Indiana can capitalize here. Down 10, 12-2 at the start. Shot inside and good. Pat Berg with the bucket. Morris inside, shot off the mark. And the ball comes to the free throw line to Ali Patberg. Patberg up top directing traffic. Here's Gouldbay working against Amani Free. Gouldbay to the right of the paint, gets inside, good footwork, misses the shot, Morris the rebound.
Yeah, Quinnipiac's defending really good 5-on-5 in a half-court set.
Morris and Deweese have already combined for 7 of Quinnipiac's 8 rebounds. Morris up top, gets the look, high arcing shot, barely grazes the net, and with that whistle, we've got a break in the action with the Bobcats at the first time out, up 8 here at home against Indiana.
Yeah, a chance to go here. Yeah, you see Morris knocking down a 3. You get a big stepping out, making it difficult on Holmes, followed up by a really good feed, and Amani Free knocks one down from deep. I think with the pace of play, and honestly with the realization that this is a really good Quinnipiac team, and, you know, it's going to be a really good basketball game.
Cardaño Hillary giving up for Alexa Gouldbay, and here is Berger. Berger to the left of the paint, missing on the shot. Ball loose underneath into the hands of Keandra Brown. Brown with the bucket, and the lead cut to 12-6.
Yeah, one of the few defensive rebounds that Quinnipiac didn't come up with. Good hands by Indiana.
Morris up top for Sajeda Bonner. Bonner had 7 off the bench, and Bonner is going to be called for the offensive foul, her first. Got 7 off the bench against Army and hit a couple of threes on Thursday night. Cardano Hillary into the front court on the Bobcat logo. Handing off for Chloe Moore McNeil in the game for the first time. Cardano Hillary kicks it for Berger on the three-pointer. That one is good for Grace Berger.
Yeah, really good set that time by Indiana offensively. It came from the weak side with a big, strong side ball screen and able to get a ball reverse, and Berger knocks it down.
Berger hit a half-court shot in Bloomington last weekend against Kentucky to end the first half. Three-pointer right there, cutting it to a 4-point deficit for the Hoosiers. Here's Mackenzie DeWeese. DeWeese gets inside, up, off the glass, and in for DeWeese.
He's able to put it on the floor with a left hand and using a right hand kick it. Not an easy move, and you know, you like what Berger's doing for Indiana. Really good, strong move.
Great defense by Morris, denying Berger on the interior. And here is DeWeese. Last bucket by DeWeese. Indiana, the timeout, had hit a couple of buckets, and DeWeese a big basket there to sort of end that mini run for the Hoosiers. Morris gives it up for Sajeda Bonner. Bonner directing traffic, gives for Helms. Helms inside, whistle, offensive foul on Mackenzie Helms.
And maybe one if you look at it again and you're going to break the tape down with Coach Fabry at the end of this big game. You look at that move by Helms, you're going to be able to see maybe a kick out for the corner. And it's a good move by DeWeese with a left hand, going the wrong way and shooting it off the glass with a right hand. And they get a chance to see here Morris doing what she does inside. Really good vision and instincts with the block from behind.
Cardano Hillary in the front court. That's Pat Berg, pardon me. Berger on the right wing looking to feed inside. Brown sets the screen on Mackenzie DeWeese. Plenty of time on the shot clock for the Hoosiers. Inside, basket is good for Chloe Moore McNeil.
Yeah, good move there by McNeil. She came in off the bench and has done a really good job defensively and made a good offensive play there.
Averages about 12 minutes per game off the bench for Indiana. DeWeese uses a screen by Morris. Cavalry gets inside, kicks it. Haley Smith in the game for the first time. Shot clock down to 7. DeWeese for Morris. Morris a three-pointer from up top, no good. Rebound into the hands of Allie Patberg.
And great job defensively by Indiana with a really solid effort with help and recovery.
And out of bounds off Patberg and Indiana. Patberg for Indiana wears number 14. She began her collegiate career at Notre Dame. Missed her first year, injury redshirt, torn ACL. 1 year at Notre Dame as a player, then transferred, sat out a year. She's now in her 7th year at the Division I college basketball level.
Well, you know, and Steve, you know what? The benefit of age really bodes well with you. When you look back at your career, right, as an athlete, when you're 25, 26 years old, you were at your best because the game slowed down for you and it just became second nature. She plays with such a sense of calmness when she has the ball.
Golbey, travel violation, and Patberg is the second player ever on the women's side in college basketball for a 7th year, and the other in the Indiana game notes, someone that Quinnipiac is familiar with, Isis Young, who wrapped up her career 2 years ago at Siena in the MAC.
And she could play. I mean, I remember the name well, and she was pretty talented. And, you know, what you're going to see now is you're going to see a handful of kids as they move on with those extra couple years you get from COVID, a chance for kids to play at least 6 seasons.
Quinnipiac up at 1 point, 12-2. Indiana run to pull to within 4. Here's DeWeese giving for Smith. Smith will be called for the travel. 4th turnover for Quinnipiac in that game Thursday night at Army. Travel violations on both sides. As we take a look at head coach Terry Moore, now in her 8th year, 19th year coaching college basketball. 350 victories overall, 151 at Indiana.
And just moved over right from Indiana State.
There you go.
Did such a good job there, moved over to Indiana, and has got her program certainly headed in the right direction with a chance to compete for a national championship this year.
Last year beat number 1 seed North Carolina State in the Sweet 16, made it all the way to the Elite 8 for the first time in program history, lost in San Antonio to Arizona. Indiana a year ago, 21-6 overall, 16-2 in the Big Ten. Picked to finish second in the preseason poll. Maryland picked first. They're both in the top 5 early on in the college basketball season. Jump ball situation, the tie-up. Possession arrow belonging to Quinnipiac.
Well, defensively, both teams are really good. They're making it really difficult to find the room and the space offensively to play with freedom. Hasn't been a lot of live ball turnovers. Everything's been half court, and it's been difficult for both teams to get in the rhythm on the offensive end. Defense has been good.
2-second difference between the game clock and shot clock. DeWeese against Patberg. Shot clock now inside of 10. DeWeese makes her move, pulls up on the jumper, a little too strong. Hayward tries to keep it alive. DeWeese inside, gets the scoop shot to fall. She's got 6.
Of course she does. She was able to make a really good move and
Berger
not give up.
Hit that shot from almost the identical spot to end the first half at home in Bloomington against Kentucky last weekend. That shot off the mark, and the Bobcats will go to the second quarter here at home with a 6-point advantage. Mackenzie DeWeese helping lead Quinnipiac in the first quarter. Mack with 6 points and 5 rebounds. Quinnipiac by 6. Quinnipiac out to a 12-2 start, up 6, 16-10 at the start of the second quarter. Home opener for Tricia Fabry and the Bobcats, starting the season with 3 straight games on the road and going 2-1, with the only loss in overtime in the season opener at Fordham down in the Bronx in New York. And Tricia Fabry, once again now in her 27th year as the head coach. We touched on it. Bobcats got off to a great start. What do you think our message was in the huddle right there at the end of the first quarter?
Well, I think it was, hey, listen, man, we did a really good job, but right now it's 0-0 as you enter the second, right? And I think what you want to do is play Indiana even for every quarter from here on out, and you end up winning the game by 6. So Quinnipiac's done a good job, one possession at a time. The stage in the game hasn't got too big for them.
Berger defended well by Mackenzie DeWeese on the baseline, and it will be Indiana basketball with 17 to shoot. Mackenzie Holmes on the floor to start the second quarter for Indiana. 2 fouls in the first quarter. Berger looking to go to work. Up top, Golbey. Open look on a three-pointer. That one off the mark. Good closeout underneath by C.T. Haywood.
And what she did, Steve, you hit it right. She boxed her out, and then she released and went after the basketball. So good start for Terry Haywood. Rebounding from that 4 position is going to be an important thing for Quinnipiac. C.T. pulled one down.
DeWeese trying to use a screen from Morris. And Rose Caverly will be called for the travel violation. 5th turnover for Quinnipiac. Both teams turning the ball over 5 times so far in this one.
Yes, I mean, I think I'm not sure the travels, right, for both teams. I don't think Indiana traveled. I don't think Quinnipiac travels. I think once the ball is out of your hand, then it's not a walk. So tough early whistle on the travel call for both teams.
Berger, the pink sneakers, giving it up. Golbey. Patberg against Caverly into the corner for Berger. Shot clock inside of 10. Berger against Haley Smith. Misses on the shot. Haywood again underneath for the rebound.
I like Berger's game. She got a little game to her. Able to cross over a little bit, fade away. The ball just didn't go in.
Closing in on 1,100 career points in her Indiana career. Grace Berger from Louisville, Kentucky. Quinnipiac basketball.
Good move by DeWeese, Steve, that time. She took it to Holmes. You're thinking, what are you doing in there taking it to the big girl? But Holmes got 2 personal fouls. So really DeWeese got a probably good look on that. Ball just didn't go in.
Morris inside looking for position. They go into Morris. Kicks it out. Caverly 3. It's good.
Yeah, good basketball that time. Morris calls his attention. You get the strong side defender leaning down. You kick it out and you get a 3.
Patberg to the free throw line. Inside against Haywood. Throws it up and gets it to fall. Patberg the bucket. She's got 4.
Yeah, surprised she didn't shoot it. Yeah, but clearly far more comfortable putting the ball on the floor than just shooting an open 3.
Haywood, high arcing 3 is good for CT.
CT pushed it out a little bit. Good ball reverse. And again, Quinnipiac playing with a whole lot of confidence on both the offense and the defensive end.
Haywood, 9 points in the victory last weekend on the road at Central Connecticut. 26 threes in her first year, 14 as a sophomore last year. Struggled at times with the shot. Patberg behind the back with a dribble. Good defense by Haywood. Cardano Hillary missing from long range. Morris tracks it down. Caverly in the front court, hands off for DeWeese.
You saw Coach Fabry for Quinnipiac over there telling the team, push it on the missed shot, but really good transition defense by Indiana, getting all 5 players back before Quinnipiac was able to cross half court.
Caverly goes behind the back against Cardano Hillary. Haley Smith. Shot clock at 2. Haywood the 3. That one rims out. Mackenzie Holmes underneath clears the rebound for Indiana. Hoosiers look to push. Here's Berger. And Berger called for the double dribble. 6 turnover for the Hoosiers.
And Berger was ready to feed the ball inside to Holmes, but Holmes didn't have her body situated underneath the basket. Berger did a little okey-doke with the ball. The official called her for a walk.
Chloe Moore McNeil, Keandra Brown back on the floor for Indiana. Amani Free checks in along with Sajeda Bonner. Luis against Pat Berg. Bonner comes off a screen up top, now Free. Amani puts the shot up, barely grazes iron, out of bounds. Quinnipiac Thursday night against Army. Trish Fabry with about 5 minutes to go in the second quarter went to 3 reserves, and they did a great job of maintaining and also extending the lead.
Yeah, they got a solid 8. They really do. And a good backdoor cut there and a good feed and finish.
Cardano Hillary with the bucket. 8-point Quinnipiac lead. Morris working on the baseline, finds DeWeese cutting inside. DeWeese with the bucket, and she's got 8.
I love the composure. Really good feed by Morris. But, you know, you look at DeWeese, and she's fallen in love with that shot off the backboard from over the top. So really good rhythm between Quinnipiac's 2 best, Morris and DeWeese.
And it's not easy going off glass from straight on.
Yeah,
you don't have that angle.
No, she makes it look like you can do it, but it's really a hard play.
Free against Golbey. Travel by Alexa Golbey. Turnover, Indiana.
I mean, I would tell you what, I think Quinnipiac defensively, Steve, is swarming on the defensive end. Just when you think Indiana's made the right play, you got some weak side help, but turns is right in your body, and it always starts with what DeWeese is doing on the defensive end. I haven't seen a player in a long time give the energy on the offensive end, but give it at a greater extent on the defensive end. She's a special player.
Allie Patberg to the bench for Indiana. Cardano, Berger, Moore, McNeil, Golbey, and Brown on the floor. And a foul is going to be called. Charged to Nicole Cardano Hillary.
Well, Cavalier's just so good with the basketball. Go ahead, partner.
That's her second.
And Cavalier's just so strong, and she gives you that steady influence and just accepts her role. Now, she can really knock down threes, but does have an understanding of who she should get the ball to and when, and takes a back seat so Quinnipiac can run their offense.
Caverly with the ball in her hand. Shot clock approaching 10. Bonner back to Caverly. Gets a look on a 3. Knocks it down.
Boy, what execution on the offensive set. Able to throw it to the wing, inside, kick out to Caverly, who was waiting for the 3.
Her second 3. She's got 6. Whistle on the other end, stopping the clock. And the foul will be on Amani Free. That's her first. And the team's first of the second quarter. Ellie Smith will check in, replacing Mackenzie DeWeese. Mackenzie Helms continues on the bench for Quinnipiac.
I tell you what, I think if I'm Trish Fabry, Quinnipiac's coach, I got to figure out a way to get DeWeese to play with an oxygen mask so she doesn't come out. Right? Let me hook up one of them things to your nose so you can stay in the game.
Keandra Brown with the bucket. Quinnipiac 27, Indiana 16, midpoint of the second quarter. Steve Lennox, Bill Mecca along with you from the People's United Center in Hamden, Connecticut on this Saturday afternoon. Caverly another 3, that one off the mark. Rebound underneath for Chloe Moore McNeil. She'll bring it into the front court for Indiana. Inside, Brown the bucket. Morris tried to get in the passing lane. And a mini run for Indiana and a timeout on the floor. Quinnipiac at home for the home opener here in Hamden, up 27-18 on the 4th-ranked Indiana Hoosiers. UCAN, powered by Superstarch, baked by Science. UCAN's pre-workout energy powder will help you maximize your next workout. For more information, log onto their website, generationyucan.com. UCAN, your personal best awaits. Indiana, number 4 in this week's AP Top 25 poll, the highest ranking in program history. Ranked in the top 10 at number 8 to open up the college basketball season. Haywood, the travel, out of the timeout. Indiana off to a 3-0 start, 8 straight victories on the road dating back to last season. And in their 3 wins this season, shooting 50% or better. And in all 3 games and all 3 victories to open up the college basketball season, they've scored 70 or more twice. They have scored 80 plus and 18 points total through the first quarter plus of this one. Berger inside missing. Haywood, another rebound. She's done a terrific job on the defensive end.
Yeah, she really has. And I think Quinnipiac's defense has done a really good job not giving Indiana those easy looks that can get them in a rhythm.
Berger is going to be called for the foul against Deweese. Berger picks up her second. Berger 2, Cardano Hillary 2, and Mackenzie Holmes with 2.
So a great interchange there, Steve. Here, we'll share with the audiences. Cavalier threw a really good pass to CT, Haywood. Ball went off her fingertips. When you think about it, it was probably a pass that should have been completed a lot easier. She put a little high. You saw Cavalier walk over to CT and say, that was on me. I should have given you a better feed.
Moore McNeil defending against Deweese. Deweese has the shot blocked. Here's Berger in transition, going behind her back against Caverly. Berger inside. Shot falls off the rim. Holmes with it. 4 white jerseys in the area. And Mackenzie Holmes, offensive rebound, and able to draw the foul.
So it looked like there was contact now as Berger was taking it down in full control in transition and bumped into a Quinnipiac player and didn't get the call, and Holmes now is there to clean it up.
Mackenzie Helms, I mentioned, a lengthy stay on the bench with 2 personal fouls as Mackenzie Holmes knocks it down. Holmes Tuesday in the victory against Norfolk State. Indiana won 72-42. And she was 11 of 15 from the field, 22 points, 3 rebounds, and a block. 27-20, Quinnipiac the lead. Bobcats' largest lead at 13 points here in the first half. Deweese falling down, and Deweese looking for Caverly. Caverly moving well without the basketball. Here's Free on the three-pointer. That one rims out, and the rebound underneath for Grace Wagner. They have switched and put Moore McNeil on Deweese, and that's provided fits. Holmes the miss, foul underneath. And the foul is going to be on Mackenzie Holmes. That's her 3rd.
Well, you hit it right on the head in terms of that defensive assignment switch to guard Deweese. She's made it a little more uncomfortable. Her speed, her length, her quickness has really shut down Deweese off of her dribble penetration.
Alexa Golbey back in for Indiana, replacing Grace Wagner in the lineup. Helms going to the bench with a 3rd foul. So Jada Bonner back in the game. Approaching 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Golbey. Shot falls as that one got a lot of iron. Indiana with the bucket and closing in now. Within 5. Deweese trying to use a screen from Amani Free. Deweese to the corner. Morris the jumper. That one off the mark. Offensive rebound. Putback is there for Jada Bonner.
And Bonner, right place, right time. Didn't give up. So let me try to attack. Jumps with 2 hands. Gets a rebound. Basket that Quinnipiac needed. Indiana was on a run.
Moore McNeil gives it for Grace Berger. Golbey cross court. Cardano Hillary misses from long range right in front of the Quinnipiac bench. Free the rebound for the Bobcats.
And she shot it like it was supposed to go in, so pretty good release. Indiana's been a little bit unlucky.
Free. Face guarded by Alexa Golbey. Gives it for Deweese. Little lob pass from Michaela Morris. Morris on the handoff now for Bonner. Michaela Morris puts the ball on the floor, pulls up for the jumper, and knocks it down.
And not an easy play by Morris. She looked to turn the corner and try to go into it, pulled up from 15 feet. Really good release on a contested shot.
Indiana got to within 4. 4 straight points for Quinnipiac. The lead is 9. Berger. Contact. Out of bounds. Off Indiana. Quinnipiac basketball. Well, we touched on Mackenzie DeWeese and Michaela Morris at the start. Their combined numbers so far in the first half against the 4th-ranked Indiana Hoosiers.
You talk about macaroni and cheese, man. One of this country's all-time favorites, and DeWeese and Morris are certainly that combination. Makes it really difficult for an opponent.
Mac and cheese?
There's nothing better, right? I mean, macaroni's good on its own, right? Cheese is good on its own.
We talked Rocky last weekend, and I was 100% on board, and you didn't think I was. I've got to go in the other direction on the mac and cheese.
You're not a fan of mac and cheese?
No. Bonner, 3 attempt, rims out. No, never have been.
Well, I tell you what, it's pretty good.
Willing to try it in the future with lobster or crab meat. It's got to be doctored up.
You like it. You like it doctored. I like the basics. We grew up poor where I came from.
Berger on the baseline, misses the jumper, chases down the miss. Berger, the second chance opportunity, hits on it.
And Berger looks like a player that every time she releases the ball, she expects it to go in.
Absolutely.
Really exudes confidence out there. And, you know, the worst nightmare for Quinnipiac is Berger was able to get that miss and make a shot. I think she makes one, she's going to make a few.
Bobcats' largest lead here in the first half, 13. Bonner inside, off glass, and in. Sajeda Bonner, 4 off the bench here in the first half.
Sajeda Bonner, big-time move down there. Shielding her off with her left shoulder with that little baby hook down low. Good move by Bonner.
Bobcats trying to close out strong to the first half. Cardano Hillary inside, rebound for Quinnipiac. Haywood was there, and so was DeWeese. 13 seconds.
Haywood's been special. Done a really good job, Steve, on the defensive boards.
7 seconds. DeWeese against Cardano Hillary. DeWeese, jumper off the mark. No. Berger, the rebound with 2 seconds. Berger from almost three-quarter court knocks it in for the second straight weekend. How about that? Grace Berger.
Well, I talked about make the first one, gives you confidence for the second one. And that might be what Indiana needs as they head into the locker room now, down 6. So good move here by DeWeese. Gets the shot off, doesn't go in. You're in good shape because there's no way Berger can make it because DeWeese is in the way. Yet she backs it up from like 72 feet, knocks it down, and gives Indiana maybe a little bit of mojo as they head into the locker room at halftime.
Berger did it last weekend against Kentucky, does earlier this week at home in Bloomington. 72-42 against Norfolk State. Mackenzie Helms on the bench for a lot of time in the first half with 3 personal fouls in the lineup at the start of the third quarter. Morris working inside against Mackenzie Holmes, who has 2 personal fouls. Morris with the bucket. Bobcats, first points of the third quarter, up 35-27.
Morris has such good footwork. She was able to go ahead and step back and able to get some space away from Holmes inside and knock down an early basket.
Holmes called for the travel, 9th turnover for Indiana. Michaela Morris, of note, grew up in Springfield, Ohio, so you've got that Indiana, Ohio, when this one was finally put on the schedule. And this was a late addition to the Quinnipiac schedule for 21-22. We'll touch on that, but for Michaela Morris, she knows about Indiana basketball.
Who doesn't know about Indiana basketball? You know what? I got a little bit of goosebumps in the beginning of the game. First at halftime when you said Hoosiers, and I'm like, oh my God, this really is Indiana. And then before the game when you saw Indiana come out with the striped red and white warm-up pants.
I was wishful thinking earlier this week. I wasn't sure. When they came out, that was neat to see here at the People's United Center. Bucket is good for Indiana. Nicole Cardano Hillary with an opportunity for a 3-point play.
And one of the few baskets Indiana was able to get in transition off a Quinnipiac miss, be able to get inside and up and under a little bit, draw some contact, and able to finish it through.
Morris to foul her first. Nicole Cardano Hillary completes a 3-point play. Helms hands off for Caverly. Caverly reverses direction, and the ball kicked by Nicole Cardano Hillary. Mentioned earlier, born in Spain, came to the United States with her family at the age of 12. Grew up from 12 on in the state of Texas. Here is Helms. Caverly, a pair of 3-pointers in the first half for Quinnipiac. Morris, the long jumper, short, tries to track it down, and coming away with it, Holmes for Indiana. Berger was also in the vicinity on the end line. Allie Patberg working against Helms, who has 3 personals. Cross court, Goulet inside. Goulet misses against Morris. Contact, no whistle. Here's Helms.
Really good job by Haywood for Quinnipiac. Tapping that rebound, one she couldn't get, but tapping it to Helms to lead the fast break.
We see the 3 guards, DeWeese with the ball, Helms and Caverly for Quinnipiac.
Now, you know what I noticed when Quinnipiac has the ball? How comfortable Helms is squaring up one-on-one as a point guard. Doesn't shy away from that contact, not pressured a lot, really keeps her composure with the ball.
Berger on the baseline, extended that forearm, no whistle against DeWeese. Berger against Morris missing. Haywood inside, a lot of contact, out of bounds off Goulet. And that was one thing in preseason, coming to practices, they would work a lot of one-on-one from up top with the guards because they have that capability this year.
Yeah, they got a handful of kids who can handle the ball, but they have it in the right players' hands against pressure. You see Helms there with the double team with a little stop and go. You can't teach that, right? She's got a good basketball IQ, but the kid can ball. Really good stop and go. Finishes with the left hand.
Mackenzie Helms, again, 2 years at Nebraska. First season playing for Quinnipiac. Joined the Bobcats in January of this year. From East Haven, Connecticut, so back home after playing for the Huskers. Goulet inside against Haywood. Lost it. DeWeese is there. And DeWeese will bring into the front court. And that's what they can do with the 3 guards. Caverly on the wing. Short on the 3. Ball batted around. Morris and Holmes. A lot of contact. Here's Allie Patberg. Good job by Haywood in the post against Holmes. And a foul called. And it is going to be on Holmes. She will pick up her 3rd. I was just going to say, she's camping out in there. We haven't seen a 3-second violation. Instead, she's called for the foul. Great job by Haywood.
Really good job not giving up the ability to, hey, listen, I'm going to keep on fighting you. I'm not going to give in. And I think this happens when you guard a post player. It's the hardest thing to do is guard a post player that moves and that's active. Haywood did not give up and then got rewarded with a foul.
Haley Smith, Amani Freed checked in at the whistle. Here is Smith, now a sophomore. Gives to Helms. Helms inside, draws the foul. And the foul is going to be on Berger, I believe. And if it is on Berger, it's her 3rd.
Hey, you talk about basketball instincts, basketball IQ. I love the feed by Smith, right? But I love her awareness that I'm going to go up and down and able to get it up and in and smack pretty hard on the face.
Helms won a state title in the state of Connecticut as a junior at East Haven, just outside of New Haven, Connecticut. Over 1,700 career points at the high school level. 39-30, Quinnipiac leading 4th-ranked Indiana with under 6.5 to go in the 3rd quarter. Patberg for Berger. Staying in the game with 3 fouls. Inside for Holmes. Holmes got position against Morris and was able to connect a 7-point game.
Holmes did a really good job offensively. She came from the weak side. Took a little off-screen hit that time and was rolling on the move to finish and catch the play.
Holmes now has 4, 1 of 5 from the field and a couple of free throws. Helms, the pull-up, rattles home the jumper, and the Bobcats lead by 9.
Boy, pretty good composure by Helms coming off of that high dribble screen from 15 feet and shooting it with confidence. So really good 3rd quarter by Helms.
Remember, limited time on the floor with the 3 fouls, or the fouls in the first half. She's got 3.
Uh-oh.
Holmes coming alive.
What a catch. In traffic, left-handed, and let out a yell to her fans behind Indiana's bench.
Haley Smith out on the 3-point line, putting the ball on the floor. Coming up on the midpoint of the 3rd quarter, Quinnipiac at home against number 4 Indiana. Caverly with 2 to shoot, throws it up with the left hand, draws iron, and Patberg underneath, able to come away with it. Ahead for Cardano Hillary. Hillary on the bounce inside to Holmes. Holmes coming alive, now has 8 to lead Indiana.
Was able to go ahead and get really clever down there in the low post, a little more active with her feet, using her offhand a little bit. And when she moves, she's really difficult to play. 3 personal fouls. You got to get the ball to Morris maybe if you're Quinnipiac, get her to try to pick up her 4th.
Helms on the perimeter. The steal by Cardano Hillary, and Helms is going to be called for the foul. And for Mackenzie Helms, that's going to be her fourth. The turnover and the foul. 4:32 to go in the third quarter. Quinnipiac leading by 5. Bobcats have not trailed in this game. Helms now with the 4, hitting on the jumper. And for Indiana on the other end, Mackenzie Holmes coming through for the Hoosiers. She leads the way with a team-high 8. Bobcats at the timeout, up 5. Well, our 3 officials, Geraldine Smith-Washington, Anthony Redden, and Justin Paluch, all at the scorer's table and on the replay monitor. As we take another look, Mackenzie Helms called for the personal foul on Nicole Cardano Hillary, and you saw Helms picking up her 4th foul.
Intentional foul there, Steve, and Indiana's going to shoot 2 with any player they want, and then they have possession of the basketball. So intentional foul there as the official gathered and looked at the replay.
Right now a 5-point game. Quinnipiac's largest lead in the first half, 13. Helms now on the bench with 4 personal fouls, 6 points for the game, and really coming alive here in the third quarter. But that one right there, frustration foul. You can chalk it up to that. And Indiana with a couple of free throws here. Opportunity, as Bill mentioned, 2 free throws and the ball, so they can really cut into this deficit now. And you look at it right here with possession coming up. Down 5. They could tie it up here with a couple of free throws and a 3.
You know, I thought heading into the half was a play that maybe it switched the momentum in Indiana's favor, but maybe it's this play here, right? The intentional foul that turns around and gives Indiana an opportunity to go ahead maybe now, Steve, to make 2 free throws, get the ball back, and walk out of here with a 5-point possession, and now you play an even game. But always when you think Quinnipiac, you got them knocked out, they always stand up and bring it on, and now it's going to be up to DeWeese to go ahead and pick up for Helms until we can get Quinnipiac and get her back in the game.
Alexa Golbey will shoot the free throws with Indiana down by 5 points. Hits on the first free throw. Helms for Quinnipiac with 4. Berger with 3, and Holmes for 3 for Indiana. Golbey stays perfect at the free throw line on the season. Indiana basketball. Hoosiers within 3 with 4:32 remaining. Golbey inbounds right in front of us to Pat Berg. Quinnipiac with Morris on the bench. Zone for the first time, I believe, today.
Yeah, zone with too many personal fouls, and it looked like to change it up a little bit and see if they can go ahead and control the boards.
Moore McNeil missed on the 3 attempt. Ball batted out to Sajeda Bonner.
Big possession here for Quinnipiac to go ahead and right the ship a little bit. So get some movement, get a ball reverse, see if DeWeese can make a play.
Caverly looking inside for Haywood, nothing there. DeWeese with 15 to shoot, 4 minutes to go in the third. DeWeese against Patberg, and Allie Patberg is going to be called for the foul. That's her second.
DeWeese has an opportunity here. Attack that back foot. Packwood leaves that back foot there. DeWeese with a little shot fake and able to turn the corner, get the ball inside, and maybe a play, if you're a fan of Quinnipiac, you let them play through. You don't call the foul there. You wait to see if you get a play because it stopped their momentum.
Morris, short stint on the bench for Quinnipiac, back into the game. They feed Morris in the block. Working against Keandra Brown. Turnaround good for Michaela Morris. She's in double figures with 11.
You notice how she chins the basketball, waits for Quinnipiac perimeter players to cross, which I thought they were a little too close to her, but she was able to get some space and finish the play.
Morris the bucket, extending the lead to 5. Patberg giving off for Berger. Berger inside against Morris. A lot of contact, no foul. Brown out of bounds. Keandra Brown doing a nice job. Second opportunity there, keeping the possession alive. Nicole Cardano Hillary checks back in. One thing for Indiana, and this was true last year, they won in the Sweet 16 against North Carolina State, and some will say they ran out of fuel, really, and losing to Arizona in the Elite 8. They are not a deep team. Quinnipiac ball as Cardano Hillary out of bounds, and Mackenzie Holmes quickly off the bench. She'll come back in, replacing Keandra Brown. So they really go. We've seen Moore McNeil and Keandra Brown off the bench. That's really been it so far in this contest.
Well, it's also not back-to-back games here too neither, Stevie, right? So they've had a chance to rest. They took a charter in. So, you know, when you're 19, 20, or even 25, one thing you should be is fit.
DeWeese trying to track down her own miss, and DeWeese is going to be called for the foul. Grace Wagner also got onto the floor in limited time in the first half for Indiana. DeWeese picks up the foul, her second.
Yeah, got an open look from 12 feet, just short-armed it a little bit, didn't get the ball up in the air, and Quinnipiac's going to go ahead and stay in the zone defense here. Not wanting to pick up 5 personal fouls to give Indiana a shoot from the foul line. Good change of defenses.
Cardano Hillary in the corner of the 3, too strong. Golbey trying to keep it alive, and DeWeese, the foul will be called. It is going to be called on Alexa Golbey, as DeWeese was not going to back down.
Like, that should never happen, right? It should never happen. DeWeese is 7 inches shorter. And watch her, not only does she box out, watch how she boxes out, but is able to stay with the bigger player from Indiana and gather herself. So Mackenzie DeWeese is something special, man. Maybe one-in-a-lifetime player you get a chance to coach.
And we've touched on it in the past. In conference play, DeWeese out of the state of Maryland, now a senior for Quinnipiac, MAC Player of the Year a year ago. Shot fake on the 3, inside, scoop shot, no good. Rebound underneath for Berger. She's someone you're just going to underestimate. You're just not going to give her the credit she's deserving of over the course of a 40-minute game.
Yeah, because you look her up, you stare her down a little bit, you're like, I can take her in a gunfight, right? And then you're like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done this.
Moore McNeil inside, gets it to fall.
She's been good. Moore McNeil's been very, very good for Indiana.
Indiana again getting it to within 3. Bobcats, when they were down or up 3 a few moments ago, Morris hit on a jumper to extend the lead. Inside of 2 minutes here in the third. Caverly moving well without the ball. Here's Bonner. Bonner, bounce pass inside, poked away by Holmes and into the hands of Cardano Hillary.
Yeah, Morris probably could have done a better job, wasn't her feed. Take a little bunny hop to the basketball so you don't get Holmes having a chance to reach in there.
Quinnipiac at home. The home opener for the Bobcats. Off to a 2-1 start with victories on the road against Central Connecticut and Army on Thursday. The loss in overtime on the road at Fordham to open up the season. Berger inside against Morris. Count the bucket and a foul. And with that foul, Morris picks up her second, and Berger an opportunity for a 3-point play.
Yeah, Berger dancing up top a little bit, shake and bake, and was able to knife in. Really nice left hand, as you see her here. Get a chance to run this thing back a little bit. Watch how she handles it, gets inside, uses her body, holds it off, and her left hand's just as solid and strong as her right.
Hits on the free throw. We are tied at 43 with 1:05 to go. Indiana has not led at any point in this game.
Their best players starting to make plays. Holmes and Berger leading the way, 2 all Big Ten preseason picks.
Bonner comes off the screen. Bonner bounce pass for Morris. Morris misses the shot, ball batted around, and Cardano Hillary contact, and Morris is going to be called for her 3rd foul.
A little unlucky that time by Morris that time. A really good offensive set. Unlucky on the miss, but I thought it was a pretty good contest, and gets called for her 3rd personal foul.
Nicole Cardano Hillary averaging 14 a game and over 5.5 rebounds a game.
Yeah, solid point guard. Does a really good job with the ball, get the ability to make some shots, and she's been impressive.
50.6 to go. Indiana, its first lead of the game.
If you're Quinnipiac, you just take it back.
1 point advantage. Caverly against Cardano Hillary. Haywood sets the screen up top. Morris stays in the game with the 3 personal fouls. Haywood on the feed from Morris, and Haywood will be called for the travel. 9th turnover for Quinnipiac. Indiana, one thing early on in the season for head coach Terry Morin and the Hoosiers, the turnovers. They have 12 in this game. 31.9. So Indiana can essentially run this one all the way down.
which they will do. And Morris, Quinnipiac's best inside player with 3 personal fouls, going to sit out the end of the third quarter to not pick up a foul. Cats will sit in the zone a little bit and try to control who's going to take this shot. I keep my eyes on Berger here.
"17 seconds remaining. Again, a little over a second difference between the game clock and shot clock. Hoosiers up 1 on a free throw. First lead of the game. Berger with 6. Patberg up top, hits on the three-pointer.
And Patberg, not a great shooter from 3, only 25% for the year, 4 for 12, but the big one, she knocks it down. And Indiana, with their best basketball of this afternoon, extends their lead now to 4 heading into the fourth quarter.
I don't know that if Holmes picks up a 4th personal foul that it's near death. That's the wrong way. I apologize for saying that. But, it's not the ultimate for Indiana. They can play without Holmes or with 4 fouls. But if Morris picks up a 4th, that's big for Quinnipiac.
Or Helms from Quinnipiac back in the game. She picks up her 5th. It might be lights out for the Bobcats. Hey, listen, that intentional foul on Helms took a 5-point lead for Quinnipiac into a 4-point lead for Indiana. That's outscored by 9 points with Helms on the bench. So that was a big play.
I believe Michaela Morris right there. Yes, Morris is going to pick up her 4th. Geraldine Smith-Washington indicating that she kind of put the leg up into the taller Mackenzie Holmes. So Morris, her 4th foul right there in the opening seconds of the fourth quarter. C.T. Haywood checks in for Quinnipiac.
They're giving Holmes the opportunity to stay in the lane. You don't have any officials saying, listen, you got to move out a little bit. And listen, she's tough to guard when she's in the lane for 1 second. You let her stay in there for 3, it's difficult.
Berger the bucket, Indiana lead up to 6.
Really big critical possession here for Quinnipiac. Berger and Holmes and Indiana playing like seasoned vets. You got to make a basket here.
Haywood on the miss by Helms, able to keep the possession alive. Helms against Berger. Helms whips it out and throws it away. Turnover Quinnipiac.
And first time you've seen frustration on the eyes of Quinnipiac in terms of their possessions. And you got to have somebody from Quinnipiac step up in this line of fire here from Indiana and want to make a play and then make a play.
10th turnover for Quinnipiac, 3rd for Holmes in this game. Mackenzie Holmes inside with the reverse. And the lead is up to 8 for the Hoosiers.
Yeah, she started moving a little bit, got her body moving, and on the move, she's about as skilled as a post player I think we're going to see all year.
Berger leads Indiana with 12. Cardano Hillary has 8. Holmes with 8. Whistle stopping the clock. Right now, Quinnipiac, and they've keyed on DeWeese. They need another scorer in this situation. You would expect it to be Helms. You've got Free, who can shoot from the outside, and you've got Caverly, who can also hit from outside. She knocked down 2 threes in the first half.
The success Quinnipiac had in the first 2 quarters of the game have to do with the fact that they were playing really solid defense and you had a lot of misses. So they were playing against an unorganized defense. They haven't done as well 5-on-5, yet on cue, Caverly, Steve, just knocks down a big 3.
Her 3rd 3 of the game, and it's a 5-point deficit for the Bobcats. Almost 2 minutes off the clock here in the fourth quarter. Patberg against Caverly. Contact, shot up, and good. Allie Patberg the bucket, and she has 9. Holmes with 10. 2 players in double figures for Indiana.
Patberg not afraid to cause contact and athletic enough to be in a position where she can turn around and step back and knock it down.
Berger will be called for the foul, her 4th. And Chloe Moore McNeil is going to check in for Berger. You see Terry Morin in the background, head coach of the Hoosiers. Played collegiately at Purdue from Indiana. And prior to Indiana, again, she's in her 8th year, was at Indiana State. DeWeese able to hit on a tough shot, guarded very well by Chloe Moore McNeil.
Boy, I tell you what, partner, I thought that was harder than tough.
Golbey for Patberg. DeWeese in double figures, now with 10. And Patberg may have been bowed out there just a bit. Caverly is going to be called for the foul. Caverly picks up her second.
A lot of confused looks by Indiana and Quinnipiac in terms of when the officials are blowing the whistle today. Players questioning a little bit in terms of the direction of the whistle for both teams.
Patberg looking for the inbounds. And Helms with 4 personal fouls almost came away with the steal, and an over and back called on the Hoosiers, their 13th turnover of the game.
Yeah, pretty good intense defense that time. All led by DeWeese. Helms sticking in a little bit too. So can't get the ball in bounds, they lob it. Don't lob it to Helms or DeWeese players. They don't give up, and you get a backcourt call.
A near 5-second violation on the inbounds wasn't called. Caverly hit a 3 a few moments ago, her third of the game. Coming up on 3 minutes off the clock, Bobcats down 53-48 at home against the 4th-ranked Indiana Hoosiers. Morris with 4 personal fouls back into the game. Caverly missing on the 3, rebound cleared by Chloe Moore-McNeil.
Caverly took her eye off the basket that time, Steve, looking to throw the ball into the corner, and then when she saw that that wasn't there, she shot it down and didn't go in, and Patberg again, back-to-back threes for Indiana to extend it.
Patberg, her second 3 of the game. She's in double figures. Under 6.5 to go, and an 8-point Indiana cushion. Morris and a foul called. It will be on Chloe Moore-McNeil. And for Moore-McNeil, that is her first of the game.
Moore-McNeil has had an impact on this basketball game from the minute she was subbed in. Really quick on the defensive end, made some good offensive plays, but she's made a difference for this Indiana Hoosier team.
From Tennessee, averages about 12 minutes per game off the bench for Indiana. Helms gets rid of it to Haywood and gets it right back. Shot clock for Quinnipiac. Now down to 10. Helms picked up the dribble. High post. Morris turnaround jumper short. Patberg is there, clearing the rebound near the free throw line. Golbey, feet underneath, misses on the 3. Morris with the rebound, her 6th of the game. Here is DeWeese. Caverly picks up the dribble, gives for Helms. DeWeese feeds inside, Morris with the bucket. Michaela Morris has 13.
A couple ball reverses from Quinnipiac that time in that offensive set. And if you want to get some room offensively, get a couple ball reverses, go strong side, weak side, and then back. You'll get a backdoor layup.
6-point deficit for Quinnipiac. Led by as many as 13 in the first half, led by 6 after 1, led by 6 at halftime. Patberg against Caverly, short. Morris the rebound.
Good defense that time by Quinnipiac. A little fatigue now in Indiana, and this be an opportunity for to get a big basket for Quinnipiac.
Again, Indiana not a team that goes deep off the bench. DeWeese against the taller Golbey. And out of bounds off Golbey, 13 to shoot, 4:56 on the clock. Berger and Holmes will check back in for Indiana, and we've got a timeout on the floor. 4:56 to go in regulation. Quinnipiac at home against 4th-ranked Indiana. The Hoosiers lead by 6.
Hey, welcome back here. You got Indiana 56-50, and you see why. Patberg is able to, as a seasoned vet in her 7th year, turn the corner, deliver contact, and lean back and score, Steve. And that's all about composure and points in the paint. We talked a little bit of that during break. Certainly dominated by Indiana. You got 5 seasoned vets. You got Holmes, you got Berg, you got Patberg. 3 really solid, all Big Ten performers. Started to will their way a little bit down here in Hampton, Connecticut.
South Carolina, UConn, Maryland, Indiana, North Carolina State, the top 5 in this week's AP Top 25 Women's College Basketball poll. Out of the timeout, DeWeese inside, able to finish with the offhand.
Boy, I tell you what, other than 2 inches, there's no difference between DeWeese, Berger, Holmes, all of them. DeWeese will stand up as player of the year in any conference.
Deweese, 12 points, 6 boards, 3 steals, and a block shot in this game. It will be Indiana basketball.
Yeah, nice little set there. Isolate 4 high, be able to get Berger down low one-on-one against Deweese, and uses her arms. Really clever player there, you know. Listen, you're not really good in the Big Ten unless you know how to use your body a little bit, do things that typically the officials can't see. She did a really good job holding Deweese off. She's a star.
Deweese picking up the personal foul on the other end, her third. They get it inside for Mackenzie Holmes, going against Morris with 4 fouls. That shot did not draw iron.
No.
Golbey in transition, able to deflect it into the hands of Berger.
One you want back, right? As soon as you release it, you're like, what's the advantage there if you catch that basketball? You still have Indiana, a team that really can get back in transition defense. I think if you're Helms, it's one you say, listen, I shouldn't have thrown it.
Pat Berg for Holmes inside. Great job using the left hand, but the shot falls off the rim, and Holmes is going to be called for the foul. That is her 4th. Berger also has 4 for Indiana.
They're pretty good with that left hand in there, isn't she?
Yes, that was terrific. Just didn't get it to fall. Helms, 4 personal fouls into the front court. Quinnipiac within 4. They give to Deweese. Caverly showing on the cut, coming up from underneath. Morris inside. Morris unable to finish. Deweese trying to keep it alive. And Berger into the front court for Indiana with under 4 to go.
You needed one more Quinnipiac player in there as Morris took the shot, just Deweese to try to clear it up. One more to recover that fumble for Quinnipiac, and what it might have been a very important possession, keeping it at 4, going to 2.
Haywood, good help on the defense, able to come up with it as Berger missed from in close. Here's Helms in the front court.
You get another opportunity from 4 to 2. You got to make it count.
Haywood misses on the 3. Deweese taking it away from Holmes. The whistle.
You just don't expect her to be around. Like as a big, you just don't expect Deweese is going to be there to take the ball away from you, Steve. You just leave your guard down, and you can never do it against Deweese. CT with a good look, rebound by Holmes, and then out of nowhere, like them bees that just show up, them extra large killer bees. You're like, wait a minute, you're not supposed to hurt me that bad. And Deweese comes out of nowhere to make a play.
2 of the 3 officials coming together. And maybe we'll get an explanation. They had a lengthy conversation there. Quinnipiac basketball. Bobcats calling the timeout. 3:10 to go in regulation and a 4-point game here in Hamden. Quinnipiac will have possession with 3:10 to go. Indiana 4 timeouts remaining. Quinnipiac 2 timeouts. Indiana 4 team fouls. Quinnipiac 3. 4-point game. Quinnipiac basketball. As we take a look here, Bill. Deweese keeping the possession alive.
Came out of nowhere here. It looks like they called a jump ball, which we originally thought might have been a personal foul on Holmes. They called a jump. Quinnipiac gets a chance now, down 4. Another opportunity to cut it to 2.
Caverly gives for Helms. Coming up on 3 to go. Defense by Pat Berg and a foul. And on Pat Berg. And Pat Berg with the reaction. You mentioned it earlier. And I thought Deweese had possession there. Pat Berg, 15th foul. And Pat Berg now with 4.
Yeah, friendly whistle there for Quinnipiac. Pat Berg clearly, in my opinion, was able to play a really good job on the defensive end, came down with the ball, but they must have got her on a push before that because Pat Berg is looking at the official saying, wait a minute, man, are we looking at the same play?
Deweese a miss on the first free throw attempt. She has 12 points on 5 of 11 from the field. Deweese also with 7 rebounds and 3 steals. Deweese now 19 steals on the season in 3+ games. It's a 3-point game.
One possession game here. Quinnipiac wanted to get it to 2, but the chance on the defensive end. Solid up, still man-to-man here for Quinnipiac. Look for Indiana to get inside to their best player, Holmes.
Pat Berg to Holmes inside contact, no whistle. Bobcats come away with it. Can tie with a 3, under 3 to go.
Good decision there by Helms. In transition, more red than white, brings it out. They're going to run their set.
Helms reverses direction. Looking inside, Haywood now for Morris at the free throw line. Morris against Holmes. inside. Holmes the block. Morris gets it back. Off glass, no. Gourbet is there to clear the rebound for Indiana.
Holmes did a really good job blocking the first one. Morris stuck with it and honestly missed herself a little chippy there, Stevie, one that you figured was going to go in.
Cardano Hillary on the baseline, off glass and in, extending the lead to 5.
Yeah, you can't teach speed, and she wasn't afraid to attack from the baseline. 4 personal fouls on Helms. Got by her quick and finished the play.
Under 2 to go. DeWeese puts the ball on the floor, gets an opening, unable to finish at the rim. Contact again, DeWeese to the floor. Still no whistle, there it is. Cardano Hillary on the floor as well. Possession arrow belongs to Indiana.
Boy, that's really unlucky for Quinnipiac. DeWeese with a real good play, keeps her head up. Ball somehow doesn't go in, and DeWeese is there to battle. Certainly going to dive into the play. Trying to get a timeout by Trish on the bench. Officials are concentrating on the play. Biggest defensive possession of the game here with 1:38 to go. 5-point lead, Indiana.
Berger, baseball pass for Patberg. They work it on the perimeter. Gourbet gives her Berger in the corner, guarded by Caverly. Inside, Berger, count the bucket and a foul.
That's a special move by a special player. Spins on a dime, gets it back inside, and then gets her body contorted in a way only a gymnast can.
I would love to get, it's one thing to get a scouting report from a MAC team on Mackenzie DeWeese now in her senior year. I'd love to get Indiana's scouting report on DeWeese coming into this one.
Before the game and after the game, I bet you they'd be different.
Helms to the right of the paint, reverse layup, she gets it to fall.
Well, she does some special things when she's under control. You can tell why she played at that level.
6-point game. Quinnipiac 2 timeouts remaining. Indiana 4. Gourbet for Berger. Guarded by Caverly. Under a minute to go. Bobcats led by as many as 13. Indiana a 4-point lead at the end of the third quarter. Trailed by 6 at halftime. Berger, patient, pulls up on the jumper and knocks it down.
Boy, she's earning her money now this afternoon. Made that shot from 52 feet, Steve, and her composure and control after that. Well, I tell you what, I've enjoyed watching her play.
And that was a big three-pointer that you alluded to at the end of the first half. DeWeese missed on a shot with the game clock winding down, and then Berger, her second 3 of the season, both beyond midcourt. And here, the mid-range game, and she has been solid, and when they've needed big buckets, she's come through.
Yeah, she just dances with the basketball, and when she dances, she does it in a way that puts you to sleep. Real good rhythm, real good jump, and that threesome for Indiana, along with that girl from Spain, that's a solid 4. That's a really good basketball team.
Hoosiers will play in the Baha Mar Pink Flamingo Classic in the Bahamas next week. They'll take on Stanford in Miami. Then they'll play in the Big Ten ACC Challenge. And how about this matchup on December 2nd on ESPN2? That's appointment television. Diane Nolan, by the way, the third member of our broadcast team, we've said all afternoon on assignment. She's with us in spirit. She's also watching us. I know she'll have that one penciled in. Indiana, North Carolina State on ESPN2 on December 2nd. Remember, it was Indiana knocking number 1 seed North Carolina State out in the Sweet 16 last spring.
Well, you know Lady Di is going to be watching that one. That's a body push here. Good basket there by DeWeese.
DeWeese the bucket. Quinnipiac within 6 with 39.7 to go, and a quick timeout after the made bucket by Mackenzie DeWeese. DeWeese now with a team-high 15.
Hey, she's got this uncanny way of being able to turn her shoulders and knife in and get to the baseline and up and under. So she catches it along. You give her an opening, and then she knifes in and doesn't give up her spot and just finish plays inside with just the steadiness that you're born with. And you look at with DeWeese and Morris, pretty good numbers, right? 28 and 17. They've done their thing. They put some pressure on Indiana, but I think Berger, Holmes, Patnick made some plays. And let's go back to that one play by Mackenzie Helms, right? Gets it turned over, frustration. Quinnipiac at that point up 5. Indiana ends up ending the quarter up 4. So it was a 9-0 run, or they outscored Quinnipiac by 9 and then they were able to just go ahead and hold themselves in control the rest of that quarter into the fourth.
Michaela Morris, double-double, the 13th of her career, had 9 last year as a sophomore. 63-57. 41 seconds remaining, and Quinnipiac defensively holding Indiana to this point, and in all likelihood below 70 for the first time this season. Indiana 63 points with 41 seconds to go. They had 10 points after the first quarter, 27 at halftime.
Yeah, you're going to have to foul here. You look at double team once, so you have to commit a foul, and hopefully Indiana is not able to go ahead and knock down their free throws, and you play time and score here. You try to get the game to the last as long as you can. These 39.9 seconds, you try to extend them into as many possessions as you possibly can.
Golbey coming off her first double-double of the season earlier this week, 22 and 12 rebounds against Norfolk State. Golbey just 4 points and 1 rebound against Quinnipiac.
But she's got something to her, too. You can tell by when she releases the ball that she can shoot the basketball, and that's a nice, solid team. So I'm singing the praises here of Indiana, which brings me back to this Quinnipiac team. This Quinnipiac women's basketball team is a very, very good team indeed. And they did well today, Steve. They held their own, and they certainly showed. If that's the 4th team in the country, is Quinnipiac maybe one of the top 30 teams? We'll see. They're at GW now as Tuesday. Go home for Thanksgiving for a couple days. You're back against Hartford. Yale at home on the following Wednesday. And then you get your 2 more non-league games, Northeastern and Providence, before the Women's League starts.
And conference play in the MAC for Quinnipiac will start before the turn of the calendar into 2022. Something that has changed. Before we hit January, they'll have 3 games in the conference under their belt at Ryder on December 18th, home against Fairfield, and then at St. Peter's. Indiana will host Fairfield in Bloomington in December as we take a look at their upcoming schedule, and there it is on December 9th against another MAC opponent.
Yeah,
Stanford and Miami. Bill, I'm trying to get them to take us on the charter. They're going back home to Bloomington. We'll head to the Bahamas and Nassau during the upcoming week.
That's the one I want on.
Yeah, we'd like to go on that one. Yes.
We like your team.
Well, you still owe me. Remember, my first year doing radio, we were supposed to go somewhere, and we ended up in Lynchburg, Virginia. I'd been to Lynchburg, Virginia in minor league baseball. I didn't need to go back there, so you owe me a trip.
That was St. Thomas.
That was St. Thomas. Yes, that would have been nice. On the inbounds, Helms. Bobcats down 65-57. Caverly off glass, no good. Golbey goes high for the rebound and fouled in the backcourt. DeWeese picks up the personal.
Valiant effort here by Quinnipiac. You know, Cavalry turned the corner, made a really good play, but ball didn't fall in. And, you know, you're down 8, and I think that's where you get to the position where you're down 8. You're going to foul because you just got to foul and get the ball back. But is it any importance to you as a fan when you look at a score to determine that this is going to be a 10, 11, 12-point win for Indiana, which to some might be a no-brainer? But anybody that saw this game is going to realize this was no double-digit win by the Indiana Hoosiers. They had to work to get out of hand in Connecticut with a win.
Outscored Quinnipiac 20-10 in the third quarter. Have outscored the Bobcats now 20-14 in the fourth quarter. Helms with a burst of speed, hands off for Caverly. And a foul going to be called on Indiana. The Hoosiers are going to improve to 4-0 on the season. Bobcats will fall to 2-2. And another quick turnaround. Played Thursday on the road at Army, got back middle of the night. Here against Indiana on a Saturday, on the road against George Washington on Monday. You don't want to let down against GW.
I don't know
a team
if
they've hosted here in the past.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think this team can ever have a letdown.
I think a good indication of that was how they came out in this game.
No doubt. I mean, again, with Trish on the sideline, Trish for being on the sideline, and Mackenzie DeWeese and Rose Cavalli and Kayla Morris, and I don't see this program ever having a letdown. They are who they are. They have an identity, and they're going to bring it every single game because that's just what they do.
Well, Indiana again going to improve to 4-0 on the season. The Hoosiers. And this is a matchup that was not initially on the schedule. Indiana was looking for a game. They got close to Mackenzie Holmes' home state of Maine, about 4 hours away, and she had plenty of fans in the seats above the Indiana bench area to our left. But this is a matchup. Indiana was looking for a school to play a home and home. There were a couple of schools who said, no, we want to play this year, but we don't want to come to Bloomington next season. Quinnipiac was up to that, and Quinnipiac will be in Bloomington, Indiana next year for the first time ever.
Like I said, Trish in Quinnipiac women's basketball is not afraid to play anybody, and they love getting big-time programs in the facility because it adds credibility and visibility to what this program has done.
And to that point, the Quinnipiac players on this roster still talk about the fact that they did not open up the season last year against UConn. The Hoosiers will run out the clock and win here in Hamden, Connecticut, 67-59. Indiana improves to 4-0. The Bobcats with a loss, now 2-2 on the season. Morris a double-double. DeWeese with 15. Caverly had 11 to get into double figures as well. Indiana down 6 at halftime. Bill Mecca, they come back up 4 at their 3 quarters, and they win this one by 8 points.
Hey, listen, man, I made a comment that three-pointer by Berger to end that half was going to give them the momentum they needed heading into the third quarter. That wasn't the play. Intentional foul on Helms gave them some impetus. They took control of the game. Berger got comfortable with the basketball. Holmes made some play. In Indiana, for that one window of time in the third quarter, was the better team, and they walk out here with a victory. But a valiant effort by Quinnipiac. Normal victories in basketball. Tough defeat for a Bobcat because you had it right in front of you. So, well-played game. Fun to do, Stevie.
Indiana, for the first time this season, held below 50% from the field. Grace Berger, our last fly player of the game. Berger, 17 points on 7 of 17 from the field, had 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1 steal. Laz Fly, traveling out of Bradley Airport and need a safe, reliable place to park your car. Come check out Laz Fly off airport parking, located at Route 75. We offer both valet and self-parking options to fit any budget. Laz Fly, open 24 hours a day, will get you to the airport on time, every time. Laz Fly, proud partner of Quinnipiac Athletics. Visit their website at lazfly.com. Laz Fly, we've got lots to offer. Our next broadcast, we will have another Hoops doubleheader 1 week from Sunday. That's coming up for the Quinnipiac men's team.